stretching deeper, and is my body like perfect, and
right.
do I, you know, and I'm like, this is not how it used to be, and not how, for me, I feel like I should be approaching my practice, because that's not how I want. Like, I wanted those to be separate. But now that I'm starting to find that awareness, I'm like, oh, okay, like I can start trying to separate it and being like, these activities, it's okay to have this mindset, and now I can activate this mindset for these activities. So I really enjoy that you said that, because I'm like, yeah, that's hitting my soul real deep right there.
I think it's like, what you said, like, about separating our practices. I think the only reason I've been able to have that is because yoga for me was always, or aside from like the very first like few instances with yoga where I was going to like Oxygen, which is a little bit more fitness based than like traditional yoga, and that's totally fine. It was kind of like my gateway into a more deeply felt mind-body connection with yoga. And that only lasted like maybe 6 months. For the rest of the time, it was like, okay, when I'm in the gym and I'm lifting weights, that's my time to be a little bit more technical, right? Like, that's when I'm pushing myself physically, or when I'm in a Pilates class, or when I'm dancing. Like, actually dance not so much out. The dance is more like my fun time. But yoga was always just like, the intention of it was just to flow. The intention of it was just to be present. So I think remembering, you know, with any practice, I saw someone posted on Instagram the other day their journals from this year, and not only did they have a stack from 2019, but like the inside of their journals were beautiful. They were drawing in them, and they had pasted things, and I was just like, my journal's so ugly in comparison. And I've like done 1.5 journals. Like, who am I? Like, really, like, what? It started like down this little like really weird shame spiral for something.
I don't journal right.
Right? Yeah. Like, right? Yeah. For something so personal, and I was like, what am I doing? Like, this is for me. So I think that's the biggest thing with some of these practices, is just remembering that like there's not a right or a wrong way to journal or meditate or whatever, right? Like, despite the fact that we might have teachers for some of those things, at the end of the day, it's your practice, and as long as you feel good in it and it's giving you what your intention was out of it, then like that's the most important part, right? But it is really easy to get caught up when girl besides you's in like some crazy like leg above her head pose, and you're, you know, just chilling out in like child's beside her.
Though, because she's the one like all the crazy positions.
Yeah, because I'm obsessed with like, you know, being the best. I need to chill. I need to do some child's pose.
Yeah, I do my yoga at home, so it's like there's no one beside me. I just put on like kind of a meditation mix, and then just do my thing. I do have like a girl like teaching me through like my laptop or whatever.
Yeah.
But I kind of just turn that down a bit, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna do this, but I'll like just chill and like and then there's no one next to me, so it's just all about my practice, right?
And I think actually my favorite practices now are when I just don't have any, like, I don't turn on a video, I just put on some music, I'm not at home, so not in a class, and I just let my body move how it wants to move. And sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna have a really slow, steady practice today, and lots of like easy poses, and then I start flowing, and I'm like trying all these crazy things by the end of it. Like, I think it's, I really love just like letting myself guide myself, essentially. And it's easier for me to not judge. Like, when I'm in a class, I definitely kind of I'm guilty of looking around a little bit, or trying to be exactly like the girl in the video, and if she offers the advanced modification, then gotta take it. Like, you know? So I kind of almost need to shut out the world, I think, a little bit to allow myself to just really get the most benefit out of some of my self-care practices, and not put myself up against someone else.
No, it's difficult to do.
Very.
I mean, like, most of my practice was at home, and I didn't use any videos or go to really classes, because like, not bored. Like, and so it was just like me and a mat for so long. But you know, where I go to get my inspiration was freaking Instagram. And so that's where everybody is like, you know, Instagram, you know, fitness models who are just like so talented, and you know, but you don't necessarily see like how long they've taken to hone their craft, and how many times they've fallen out of that pose.
Oh yeah, 100%. A lot of them even say that, like, in their caption, they're like, you haven't seen how many times like I've fallen out of this. Like, this took me years and years and years to get this one picture, you know. and you're just like, oh yeah, right, like.
That's
Which I think is good. I'm glad that they put it out there because then it doesn't have like little newly yoga me and all the other me's that are like, oh, like, you know, why aren't I?
Yeah, why aren't I naturally this amazing? Yeah, it's just so funny how the things that are supposed to just help us ground are the things that we can be so mean to ourselves about.
Yeah.
But it just goes to speak, I think, of this kind of culture that we're living in right now. It's just really horrible comparison problems,
100%, yeah.
right? Like there's so much to see. Like, I mean, comparison's always been around for sure, right? But it was just be like more about like comparing yourself to your friend group, right?
Yeah.
Or like who's in your school was like the most diverse or whatever, right? Like your immediate community. But now you can compare yourself to anyone around the world, and so the pool.
And there's so many of us, right?
Right.
And so there's, you know, a million, you know, different people that you can encounter like through your feed. And they have so many different beautiful things that you don't have, but you're not seeing that on the reverse side.
And that was actually a self-care thing that I did for myself. Is for a while, anytime I was on social media, if I found an account to be either it was an intentionally negative account, or if it was just someone who was they were trying to offer something beautiful, but for whatever reason it was triggering to me, I unfollowed them or deleted them off of my feed. I'm like, I don't need this. So now, so it's interesting because I hear a lot of people saying how they go onto social media and they get all these comparison problems on a regular basis. And for me, it's rarely that I get triggered because I've curated a social media that's very positive and very inspiring. So I'll sometimes actually go onto social media because I'm like, I need a little zhuzh, like a little boost, and it's like full of like, you know, women kicking butt and like posting inspirational quotes and all just like life affirming things, and I'm like, yes, like okay, refocus, like I can do this now.
That's a nice way to put it, because you know, social media can be a safe place, and you can absolutely make that. And I remember, you know, a while back where there was just a lot of people that were either following me and that I didn't necessarily feel too good about, and people that I followed, and then this, you know, I made my account that you guys both followed to be like a personal progress thing and to just keep track of it, but then it kind of evolved into a performance kind of thing, and I was like, you know, struggling to find out what captions would like work well instead of just like saying whatever I felt, which is, you know, the intention that I made the account for. And it was just, you know, like I had to realize that and really reframe it. So it's good to hear that like other people are also doing that. I'm not a crazy person.
No, I think more people should do that actually. Not to like should on more people, but it's just you know, if you're not finding that your social media is helpful to you, or if you're doing a self-care practice because everyone else is saying that it's the most amazing thing but it's not actually working for you, like it's okay to cut things out from your life, right? Or if a self-care practice used to work for you and doesn't anymore, like you don't have to keep doing it, right? Like it's life's allowed to be a little bit of an ebb and flow, right? Like we're gonna go through seasons. You might return to something you haven't done in years, or you know, you might drop it for forever. You know, like it's okay. You don't have to be the person that you were 10 years ago. So, and I think, or be the person that you want to be 10 years from now, right now. Like that's my biggest struggle is I'm so like end goal focused of like, this is my vision and this is what I want and I want it now. That I sometimes forget to just enjoy the journey and enjoy the process of actually getting there. And I had an interesting conversation with someone recently about the importance of play, which I always preach to everyone else. Like I think it's so important to play, but I was forgetting it in my own life. And it was like anything creative that I did, particularly writing, since that's like one of my aspirations, it was like if I couldn't sit down and spew gold, then it wasn't a worthwhile writing session. And he was just like, I encourage you to just like write something really shitty, or like do something like some writing exercises that encourage like playfulness and ridiculousness, right? And just go and have fun with it. And I was like, oh man, it's been a long time since I've just played, like not even just creatively, but like gone out and jumped in some puddles. And so I think that's something for like 2019, that's a self-care thing that I'm going to start 2020, sorry.
Yeah.
We're in 2019. In 2020, that I want to start incorporating more is just having these playful moments and just like connecting to that childlike spirit that we all have still, that we often bury down because it's not appropriate as an adult, and just like do whatever silly thing happens to come across me at that time, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
One of the podcasts I listen to is Chris D'Elia's. He's a comedian, and he just always talks about silly goose time, and that's it. You know, like he is what he is. He's raw. He's just there for a silly goose time.
Yeah.
And you know, and it definitely has like, I've become like even more of a goof now than before. Like I just give no fucks. Like we were in Banff, me and my bro and a couple of our friends, and like I don't know, we were just listening to this podcast like the entire trip, and I was just like, I don't know, just being silly, and I was like dancing in the middle of like aisles holding my food, and then my friend like filmed me and put it on her Instagram, and I was like, that's funny. And I'm like, I don't give any fucks. When am I gonna see these people again?
Right? Yeah. And I used to be very much like that when I was younger, and then like felt like I needed to grow up and be an adult and get serious and make something of myself, and kind of lost that ability to just enjoy something and be goofy for the sake of being goofy. So I love that you do that, and I love that silly goose concept. Like,
silly goose time. It's my way of life now. Yeah. I'll be all of your ways of life now.
It's your mantra.
It's my mantra.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's great.
Any like self-care things that you guys want to bring in for 2020, just as a way of like wrapping it up? Like, because we kind of talked about things that we already do, but is there any like, I want to bring in more play for 2020? What's like some things that you guys want to maybe bring in for 2020?
Something that I want to bring back is I want to start cooking again.
Ooh.
I really lost my inspiration for that. This one knows. Like,
oh man, her food is like, oh damn. She'll let me over for dinner. I'm like, oh my god, this is what we're having.
Cooking for one's depressing. The kid doesn't eat anything. Like, she's living off plain toast. So I just don't cook, but I really want to because it makes me feel so much better. So like, that's definitely something that I want to do, and get back on my mat and stop competing with myself.
Thanks.
Yeah, no, we got to bring back our potlucks because we had our one potluck, and then that created this podcast.
Yes.
But now we gotta do like the potluck, and then once we're done eating, because that's annoying if you like see us eating and like, oh no, you know? Like, we can eat our food and then we can podcast.
Yeah, it's an event for us.
Yeah, we gotta bring that back because that'll like help with your cooking, and like I get to eat your cooking.
Yeah. Selfishly,
so,
we
like,
just want to
it's
enjoy
just kind
your
of like
food.
selfishly,
That's fine, I'll take it. I could just ego stroke.
I don't know, like, I was doing really good this year up until this last dance semester, like term or whatever you want to say, because I picked up 2 courses and was learning 4 routines. It was like a lot more of my life, and I was doing like this yoga practice to get my splits because I'm so not flexible, and I pretty much just stopped as soon as like dance started because I was just so busy, and like and I'm going to Vancouver for dance, so it's like by the time I get home and into bed it's like midnight, and then I'm up at 6 for work, so like there's no time on my dance days, so then I just stopped doing it the rest of the days, which is kind of dumb, but you know, just
it happens. Life.
So bring back like yoga, because I would do that like in the morning or something to start my day, and it would just be way more productive, but I've just been like lazy since, so I kind of bring that back, I guess. What about you?
Play is definitely a big one, and I think just a few more of like my mindfulness practices. I think I like the ideas of like morning rituals and evening rituals, just so having a way to like start my day and end my day. Looking at doing that, I used to have something called an every damn day list, and it was just like a few points of things that made me feel really good, or helped me to advance my goals in some way. That's something that I'll be sitting down with over the new year, is like recreating an every damn day list to help keep myself more grounded, more centered in like who I am, but also help me move forward into the life that I want to create. So
I love that.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks for
checking in with us.
Yeah.